understand that. But again, there's no absolutes in this business.
So, Shefty, let's get to that here. And D. Wood, we've not had a chance to hear your take on this all week, so I'm coming to you. And Rod Musk is our Packers Nation reporter. He told me that normally, after the season, Aaron Rodgers would meet with the coach, and then he would go back to California. This week, he's sticking around so he can meet with the team president and meet with the general manager before he goes, sort of setting the stage for whatever would come next. So how do we expect this thing with Aaron Rodgers to go forward from here?
Well, he minimized it the next day, and I think really what Aaron Rodgers probably needs to do is hear from all these people, hear what they have to say, process what they have to say, and then decide what he wants to do. And again, he's saying he minimized it the next day with Pat McAfee. I think he walked it back some. There was obviously a question that he raised on Sunday, which led to us, I don't think, being out of line at all, raising the questions that we did on Monday about his future. And it still comes back to, ultimately, after he talks to all these people, figuring out what he wants to do. If he wants to go back to Green Bay, no issues. But if he doesn't, then he can create an issue. That's up to Aaron Rodgers. The ball is with him. And I think maybe that'll be influenced by what he hears. Now, I think people think, oh, yeah, well, everybody in Green Bay wants him back. Well, yeah, I think the coaching staff absolutely wants him back as long as he wants to be there. I'm not as convinced that everybody feels the same way about Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay as the coaches. And we'll see how those conversations play out this week.
So everyone leans forward in their chair as you say that.
Cryptic,
Damien Woody, we've not had you all week, D. Wood. What is your take on all this?
Boy, Shefty just threw a curveball, right? I mean, man, way to try to throw me off a little bit there.
D. Wood, can I just very briefly ask, is your house on fire? Can I just
no?
Look
I knew you was going to ask that. No, it's just a vent. No, I am
okay.
safe.
Everything is okay.
Trust
Oh,
me
you're
on
good.
that.
I didn't know if we were naming a new pope, or I don't know what's going on behind you there, but I'm just making sure everything is all right. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Listen, Greeny, I'm just having such a hard time wrapping my head around why would Aaron Rodgers even want to leave Green Bay? I understand he's on the clock with Jordan Love and being drafted in the first round. I get it. But may I remind everyone that Green Bay played back-to-back NFC championship games. This past year, they had home field advantage. He's going to be the MVP. The grass is not green on the other side all the time. And I know people will say, oh, well, look at Tom Brady. Okay, that's one situation. But for Aaron Rodgers, when I look at this Green Bay Packers team, that's a really good team, Greeny. It's a really good team.
I don't think
really good.
I don't think that it's about. I don't think that it's about him wanting to leave as much as I think it's about him realizing that his interests and the Packers' interests have started to diverge. All the decisions they made up into this were aligned with his decisions. They were the similar things that he wanted to do. And last offseason made it clear to him that now their interests are diverging, and he's like, you know what? I'm not going to let you do this to me. I'm going to hold whatever power I have to make sure you make the decisions that maximize the end of my career, maximize my earning. We talked about it some yesterday, and I think Drew Brees was the example I used. He learned early in his career when he hurt his shoulder and San Diego Chargers gave up on him. He learned early in his career that sometimes the quarterback and the team's interests diverge. It took Aaron Rodgers a long time to learn that lesson, and he's learning it now, and he's using his power as quickly as he can to make sure that they don't send him out there on their own terms. He's going to go out on his terms.
There's another thing in this.
By the way, nobody said he wants to leave. I think the more apt and clear depiction of it is there's a lot going on in his mind, as we heard on Sunday and again with Pat McAfee. I think there's a lot of information he's sifting through. Now, he's had meetings with those individuals in Green Bay, and they voiced their feelings publicly. Oh, Aaron Rodgers isn't going anywhere. And again, that very well may be the case. Why would you want to move on from the MVP? But I think it's all very clear to say that he has to sort through everything he's heard and decide what he wants to do. That's all.
And sometimes, and Shefty, you and I have had this conversation before in other circumstances, that pay no attention to what people say, just look at what they do. They drafted a quarterback in the first round last year. They traded up to take. And you and I both know that the most violated rule in all of sports is never let it get personal. These guys should never let their personal feelings get involved in their business, but everyone does because it's human nature and they can't avoid it. And I think that could play into this, Adam Schefter.
Well, Green, you just said something there again that We all know, but it's just a reminder. Not only did they draft a quarterback in the first, they traded up to draft a quarterback in the first round. So it wasn't enough to go pick the quarterback. We have to make a bold, aggressive move to go get a quarterback. I mean, think about that. Think about that for a moment.
Right. So they did that. So they told him that the future is not you. So all he's doing now is dictating the timing. He's in control of the timing now. There aren't in it. One thing they can't fully control, Dominique, is the timing. And so if he doesn't hear what he wants to hear, which is we're committed to you for some period of time, then maybe he decides if I'm moving on anyway, let me move on now while I'm still at my best. Neat.
Last season was their offseason. Last season, the organization put him on notice. This season, this offseason, is his offseason. He had an MVP caliber season, and he's putting them on notice. All the things that D. Wood said about why he shouldn't want to leave, they went to back-to-back NFC championships, and he had an MVP level season. Their offense was outstanding. He can say all those things to them, and I would argue that he's more of a reason for those things than anybody else in that organization. So they can go and say, well, you don't want to go anywhere. We got you Adams, and we got you all this great stuff, and we're going to AFC championships, and we got the #1 overall seed. And he can look at them and say, what would you have if you started Jordan Love? So this offseason, I'm putting you on notice, just like you put me on notice last offseason. You're going to do this the way that I want it done. Going to give me more money, going to give me the players that I want, because you're not going to squander the end of my career because you're ready to move on.
Here's the
hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Go ahead, D.
So when is the Green Bay Packers supposed to pick a quarterback? I mean, look at the Pittsburgh Steelers with Big Ben Roethlisberger. We see how hold on. We see how broken down Big Ben is right now. Big Ben is a shell of himself. So I'm just going to play devil's advocate. When were the Green Bay Packers supposed to pick their successor? I mean, do they
while
need,
you're playing,
do you need,
I have
hold
to
on,
jump in the middle. I have to go to a break.
You play devil's advocate, and I will play Aaron Rodgers.
Hold on.
Listen to me.